Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and it's been a while since that last top 5 video I made, the games that I didn't like that everyone else did. So hopefully all that hoopla has gone down, and hopefully you guys still like me, I guess. But we get to do the reverse today, so it's the top 5, these are the top 5 games that I like that I found no one else really does, and there are some intricate scenarios that are going to be happening in this list, so I'll be explaining all that once we get to those games. With that being said though, the rules of course still stand. We've got one per franchise, one game per franchise, and really that's the only rule, I guess. So with that being said, here we go. Number 5. Alright, number 5 is a really obscure case, but I'm surprised that no one liked this game. I kind of did. We're going a little old school with this. Cartoon Network Speedway on the Game Boy Advance. This game, I like it. I think it was really fun. I don't remember unlocking every single thing, like tracks and characters. I might have, but it's been a while since I played this game. But I genuinely enjoyed this game. I used to play Game Boy a lot as a kid. And while looking up reviews and stuff for just Game Boy games and all that, I found this one and I found that the reviews were really bad. So not a whole lot of people liked this game. And a lot of complaints where they're like, oh, Dexter and the Powerpuff Girls aren't in this. And if those are your biggest concerns, I don't think this game deserves to be that bashed, because yeah, not every single iconic Cartoon Network character is going to be in here, but for the cast we got like, what, Johnny Bravo, we've got Courage the Cowardly Dog, we've got Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy, we got Ed, Edd and Eddy themselves, Muriel, we got all kinds of characters. I think, who was it? Not I Am Weasel, we got, who else? I don't even know. I think Cow and Chicken or someone like that. I think they were a series on Cartoon Network. Anyway, we've got a lot of characters as it is, and this is just a simple little Game Boy title, but because of that, with that being said though, I don't know, I like this game. So it was really weird to hear that a lot of people didn't. So if you do, awesome, but if you don't, then I don't know. It's a cool game. I enjoyed it, and I'm surprised that a lot of people didn't. So it's at number 5. I have a lot of memories with this game, so that's kind of the reason why I was like, oh, this game is not very well liked. I don't know. So that's number 5. Number 4. Alright, number 4. We're already getting into some controversial stuff here. Number 4 is, in fact, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Now, hold on. This game is bad. I acknowledge that it's a bad game only because of the execution. I do actually respect and kind of like the idea behind this game. The fact that it was rushed is what made it, you know, a glitchy, empty mess, you know. And the fact that, I don't know, it's mainly because they rushed it. But from the get-go, from that first trailer, excuse the Skrillex Bangarang stuff, all that, the fact of it was a different step for Sonic, I was hooked. And link down below, Trash Talk episode, I want to say it was 22 or something like that, was me and Jeremiah talking about this game before it even came out. It was just going off that one trailer. And we liked the idea. We genuinely liked that idea. And even though, again, the execution was very sloppy, and just the fact that it was rushed makes it even sloppier, I still like the fact that, you know, they tried something different. And the fact that it was Big Red Button Entertainment, and a lot of ex-Naughty Dog members, like Bob Raffay, he was actually the director of this game, I think. The fact that this is Bob Raffay. Anyway, I don't know, something just went awry with this one. If they took their time, didn't rush it, and, you know, took more time to just develop things, the gameplay, the dialogue, all that stuff, we could have had an awesome Sonic game, an awesome Sonic spin-off that was different from all the other main Speedy games. The fact that this is a platformer is actually a beat-em-up platformer is one that I was like, okay, I really have been waiting to see a Sonic game like that because I'm not that much of a Sonic fan. So with that being said, you know, even the old school Genesis games are only like okay in my book. Like, I know they were a big deal back in the 90s and all that, but I'm just kind of like, well, it's cool. But the fact that you can't really take in the environments and all that, it's really cool how you're zippity-doo-dying everywhere, but the fact that you don't get to take in your environments and all that, especially even with the 3D games, for as, you know, broad and open as they are, you're still speeding around everywhere. So this is not the next Sonic 4. This is not Sonic 14. This is not the next Sonic 06. I don't think it's worse than Sonic 06. Sonic 06, that idea, the conception of it was just kind of fucked from the start. And I'll get more into that sometime later, perhaps. But with this game, the concept alone grabbed me. I was like, okay, this looks kind of cool. And again, it's just execution. The fact that it was rushed made this a bad game. The multiplayer, that's just straight up broken. But everything else about it didn't have the proper development time it needed. But if it did, this would have been a really cool game. And I like and I respect the idea of this game and the concept of it, because it's a different take for Sonic. If only it wasn't rushed, it would have been good. So I still like it, but obviously no one else does. So there you go. That's why it's at number 4. Number 3. Alright, at number 3, more controversy. Number 3 goes to Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Now, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is notorious for Capcom's shady DLC practices. The fact that most of the characters and everything that you have to download is pretty much already, they're all pretty much already on the disc. Again, another link down below to one of Angry Joe's videos on this. I think it's actually his angry review on this game, not just the fact that it's the DLC specifically. I think that's one of the biggest killers of this game. But with that out of the way, you know, taking that all out of consideration, it's still a good game. I still kind of like it. And I say kind of because with some of the Tekken characters, now this just gets into aesthetics. Pretty much just primarily aesthetics as to why I kind of like this game. I like it. When I say I kind of like it, it comes down to the aesthetics, where certain Tekken characters look very odd done in Street Fighter's art style, especially Kuma. There's the picture. He looks fucking creepy, mainly with the eyes. They give him human-ass eyes. I have no idea why, but that's just off-putting. Some of those just art design aesthetic choices. Other characters that just stretch to make weird-ass facial animations, like I think Brian and, or not even animations, just positions, facial faces. They look very odd. Like I think Martial Law and Brian Fury are two, pictures up here right now, are two characters that just look very odd in the art style because they just don't resemble the way they are, the way they look in Tekken. So it's very odd. But besides all that, this game is still pretty okay to play. If only the fucking... I know that he does this in Street Fighter, but the announcer needs to shut the fuck up sometimes, because I swear to God, he talks a lot. But besides that, these are just little nitpicks. The fact that there's the aesthetics, the art style, and the announcer are pretty much nitpicks. The DLC stuff is what kills it for a lot of people, and not a lot of people like this game, I found, because of that. But again, taking that out of consideration, I actually kind of like this game. I think it's pretty cool. And I'm still awaiting Tekken Cross Street Fighter. I think that's the reason, I think this gives the reason why Tekken Cross Street Fighter is, I guess, in development hell. I have no idea. We've heard next to nothing really new about Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Although I do think it's still in development, it's still being done. They haven't just given up on it, but I think this game is the reason. So with that being said, number 3, is Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Number 2 is quite an odd case as well. So here we go. Number 2. This one is one that I just never understood, and I don't know. Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Sunshine. It has its fans. So it's number 2 on the list because of certain things I got to get into right now. But I like this game. It's one of my favorite platformers, like Nintendo platformers, not just Mario platformers or any other. It's one of my favorite games. Of course, the Galaxy games take the cake for my favorite Mario games of all time, but this one is like a close, if you consider both the Galaxy games first, this is a close second, because it was my first Mario game ever that I played. The first game with Mario that I've ever played was Super Smash Bros. Melee. The first Mario game, Mario title, was this one. And this is still the original copy that I got from way back when I got the GameCube. It came in a bundle, I think, so, I don't know. It's mainly internet critics. I don't want to name any names, but there are people out there that I've watched their videos, and they have said, this game is weird. I didn't really like this game. It's not very innovative, and it's not very... And I'm over here like, Mario 64 was. With it being choppy, and controls weren't that great, and camera was odd, and level design was weird. Lots of issues with that, and if, you know, spoilers already, if you hadn't seen my top 5 games that I don't like that everyone else does, Mario 64 took number 1, because of those kinds of reasons alone. This game is one that I feel corrected a lot of Mario 64's issues, in terms of the control, in terms of the camera. This is the first and the pretty much only Mario platforming game to have a free-roaming camera, and, I think it's from people saying that there were a lot of issues still with this camera, which, yes, I have run into camera issues myself with this game. That's only because of certain level design choices, for certain missions in certain areas. But see how I'm throwing around the word certain? It's because it's not always, it's not a mainstay problem, the camera. It's not a mainstay problem. But I think people complaining about the camera in this game is the reason why Nintendo's like, okay, go back to the Mario 64 camera formula with Galaxy and 3D World and 3D Land and all that. So... I don't know, that's just one thing. Let's talk aesthetics, because that's one thing I always hear people say. This game is too tropical. There are too many beaches and palm trees in this game, and the aesthetics are just kind of not very varied, and, you know, the game takes place on an island. What the fuck were you expecting? We have 2 beaches, we have a bay, Noki Bay, we've got a hotel that we can run around in. There's Serena Beach, and then there's the hotel itself. I think it's pretty very Corona Mountain, you know, an amusement park. You know, there's only one little beach-like area at the start, by the front gate of Peanut Park. But you're in it. There's enough aesthetics in here that make it different, especially when you go into the special secret levels with the acapella theme song. Those are really cool, because those do also look varied in their own right. It's mainly there for, you know, pure platforming, and one thing I do want to say, if I did need to critique this game for anything besides, you know, praising it, I guess, is that in the controls department, you can tell in those kinds of secret levels that Mario's controls are pretty much based off of FLUDD, because trying to platform sometimes with Mario without FLUDD in these levels, I feel is odd. It is kind of odd, because they mainly, I think, did Mario's controls with FLUDD in mind, and didn't really change them around to feel more fluid without FLUDD. It's kind of a weird thing. It's a little bit of a nitpick, or more of a critical, analytical thing I have about this game. But besides that, aesthetics is one of the main things I keep hearing people go, it needs to be more varied. It's varied enough. What more do you want? They're not in the Mushroom Kingdom. They're on Isle Delfino. So with that, you know, that's why we don't have Goombas and only some kind of these Electro Koopas and all that. And I applaud this game for doing enough different, aside from all the other games. And then within its own right, doing enough different, I feel there is enough different in this game. So, the controls are okay. At times they get weird. The camera's okay. At times it gets weird. They're not mainstays all throughout the game. So, this game is still really good in my opinion, but while a lot of internet critics and a lot of other people tend to say, Sunshine's, I don't care. It baffles me a little bit, just a little bit. And not that I'm like angry at people, but I just kind of, I don't understand it. I don't understand why people don't like this game. So, I think it's good, and that's why it's at number 2. And the number 1 game I like that no one else does is Okay, number 1. Kind of predictable, but I'm not going to talk about them too much because I made a video all about these games and it'll be in the description below. We've got Crash of the Titans and Crash Mind Over Mutant. So, with these games, a lot of people just kind of, I don't know if these people, if these so-called fans of Crash, gave these games a chance, or maybe they did and then just decided, fuck these games. Because people are harsh on these games, and I have no clue why. Because I only like them to a certain extent. They're not my favorites in the series, by any, means. But of the two, I do favor Titans over Mind Over Mutant, because I feel Titans still captures that feeling of Crash, like the old school Crash, more so than Mind Over Mutant does, because Mind Over Mutant, from the plot and all that, seems very, let's take Sonic Boom back into consideration. Not to go off topic too much, but the show of Sonic Boom has a very, domesticated life kind of thing, and they like to do sitcom jokes, and they're not all that funny, and with references and such. So, Mind Over Mutant kind of has that tone going for it, which, again, not even just for Crash, but again, even for Sonic, for cartoon, fictional characters like that, to be making references and stuff in general is weird. So, I don't think it works too well, and for Mind Over Mutant, it doesn't work. Crash of the Titans only does it sometimes, I guess, to a certain extent. So, I don't know. But, even with that out of the way, Crash of the Titans seems a little better in my opinion, just because it has that Crash feel. But these two games as a whole, I guess as part of the Titans Mutants arc or something, as these two games, I like them. They're okay. They have a different feel, and yeah, the characters and the personalities are different. Certain designs are different. We've got way more celebrity voices now doing the characters. Jess Harnell, Greg Eagles, Maurice LaMarche, John DiMaggio, lots of people you know from cartoons and stuff like that. So, I don't have an issue with a lot of that, though. The only real issues I have are with certain personality changes, like Tiny Tiger, Crunch. Uka Uka's design is just like, if they never referenced him as Uka Uka, you wouldn't know it was him, because pictures right there, very different. So design choices like that could have been different, or not so much as changed at all, really. It's little things. It's little things like that people, like the general fan base, are getting pissed over, and I'm over here like, well, they don't affect me that much. I guess I'm just more open-minded, I don't know, because otherwise I'd probably be the same way if I were just like, oh no, this is way different, what the fuck is this shit? That's what everyone else is saying. But with those of us who are more optimistic, we're like, well, hold on, because let's take the gameplay into consideration. It is pretty fun for both games, especially Mind Over Mutant being open world, really open world, where, yeah, it's still linear in certain areas to where you can't, literally walk all over everywhere, but where you're supposed to be going, you can go wherever you want, so that's pretty cool. I don't know. With these games, though, it's just, I like them. I really do like them. Again, they're not my favorites in the franchise, but they're up there as pretty good games. In general, not even so much as Crash games, but just as a game, these games are really cool. And the fact that people don't give them a chance is sad. Because I know that it's kind of like, I don't know, you compare Crash from back then to now, and it's like, he used to be such an icon. Look at him now, he's like a hobo or something. I don't know. That's how people usually paint Crash nowadays. Which again is pretty sad, because I don't think he became a hobo or anything. I do know that we haven't gotten the game in quite a long time, but I don't think these games killed the franchise as people say they did. I think they're fine. So, again, if you want to hear much more about this, then I have, again, a video in the description where I did a discussion video on exactly this. Why are these games hated so much? And that's the title of the video. So if you haven't seen it yet, there it is, along with all the other links that I've been saying I was going to put in. So, with that being said, this has been my top 5. So, yeah. So do you agree with this list? Or not so much as agree, but see where I'm coming from with this list, because these games are games that people generally don't like, But if you like them, let me know. If you don't like them, then there we go. Many other people don't, so not that different. But these are games that I either like legit like, or at least respect. So, which is as much as, that's more than a lot of people have said about these games anyway. So that's actually, you know, opinions and thoughts. So I'll also link the top 5 games that I don't like that everyone else does in the description. Again, pretty controversial, I guess. This one I don't think was too controversial, because again, these are just widely received as not that liked, but these games still do have fan bases, and I'm just part of each of these games' fan base to certain extents. With that all being said though, look out for more discussion videos and more stuff in the future, and with that being said, Marcelo, I'll see you guys later. Take care.